Welcome everyone to Breakthrough Leadership. I'm Matt DeYoung and
I'm Greg Yates.
Yeah, so here we are and we're in today's episode, today's vlog from Breakthrough Leadership, which is episode 4 in season 1. And today we're going to talk about 3 ways to lead your team as you grow. So the premise, just very quickly, is that it's not true, in our opinion, that as an organization grows, that leadership, your style, your approach, your strategy is going to stay the same.
It absolutely can't stay the same, Matt.
It can't stay the same.
Can't stay the same.
But why? And so let's talk about why, and let's talk about what you can do about it. So first, without going a ton of detail, we'll cover this in a different video, Greg, but the number one universal challenge that leaders have as they grow is being on the same page. Isn't that true?
Yeah, being on the same page with your team changes because your team changes.
Right.
Everything about your team changes. And if you're going to do that, you're going to have to use different skills and different methods to be on the same page.
Yeah, so what are we talking about when we talk about this change that happens as you grow? It's understanding roles. It's understanding, is this the right time for someone to be promoted as a leader? It's understanding the message, the culture, the mission. I mean, these are buzzwords and frankly almost jargon when it comes to growth. But let's talk more specifically. What are the 3 ways that you can manage your team as it grows? So the first thing, Greg, that you and I have talked about is adjust the message.
Right.
What do we mean by that?
Well, the message cannot stay the same as your team grows. Why is that? Well, the average level of leadership in your organization is going down the larger you get. I can't help it. It's just the truth. That little intimate group you had that you shared information with, and they could feel your heart, they could know what you were doing. Now, you don't have that intimate group anymore. You've got to somehow transmit more information to more people. So the message has to be changed, Matt, and it's kind of an inverse relationship. You'd think the more people you had on a team, the more complex the message could be, right? Because you got more people in the army. No, it's just the opposite. That message has to get simpler, smaller. It has to be more focused, more easily duplicated, or you're never going to be able to communicate it effectively through a larger organization.
Yeah, it has to be so simple, other people are explaining it to each other. If you're the only one explaining it, not good. So adjust the message, make it more simple.
Right, exactly.
So then the second thing is to adjust roles and timing. You talked, Greg, about that small team in the startup mode, hunkered down, working together.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome.
It's great.
And you know exactly how everybody felt about everything at that time.
That's right, yeah.
But then
even while you're working those all-nighters, you find out about these people. They know you know them. But what happens as you grow is that changes. Your communication becomes more one way, okay? And the roles that you have, if you're not careful, you've almost entitled people into leadership roles as you grow simply because they've been there the longest.
Right.
Maybe they have the most experience. But the reality is that unless the roles are being filled by people who can help you as a leader continue to develop leadership now, not just your business model, but unless they can help you develop leadership, those aren't the correct roles anymore. So the roles you had before are going to change. Your hierarchy of leadership, the roles are going to have to be adjusted, and the timing for how you deal with those roles is going to have to be adjusted. It can't be just the same tight group of people, unfortunately, that you started with.
So quickly to make this concrete, if I had 10 people originally on my startup and we grew to where I need 100 now, is it just an assumption that those 10 people will lead 10 more people?
It absolutely cannot be the assumption. And I've been there. I've made these, almost arbitrary assumptions with my team and been like, oh, but when we grow, then you're going to be now at a higher level. And what you do is often you promote these people beyond their ability, beyond even their comfort level, because you feel obligated to bring them along with you. You may even put them in positions they don't want to be in anymore. I've lost more good people, Matt, more good people, because I pushed them beyond where they really wanted to go. So you got to adjust the roles.
Right. Adjust the message to make it simple. Adjust the roles to fit the timing and the situation. And then our third thing to manage your team as you grow or to lead your team as you grow, is to focus on culture shaping. Right?
Yeah. When you're small, everybody knows the culture because it's basically your culture, right? It's your personality. Yep. I mean, you exude bigger than life in your organization. And for a lot of us as strong leaders, As long as we can touch enough of those people, the aura of our leadership defines the culture. People know what we would do. They know how we would respond. And we're in a position that we can feel kind of the pushback that occurs, or the need for communication. As your organization grows, that's just not possible. There's a diminishing return on the amount of passion you put into your business. You have to spend your time figuring out how to create that culture, shape that culture, and this becomes your biggest job, Matt. As much as you may not believe it right now, it is going to be your biggest job to shape the culture of your organization. If you don't do it, it's not going to be done the way you want it done. Believe me, your organization is going to have a culture. Who's going to define it? That's up to you.
That's well said. And we have to say, you know, if you're looking at your team and saying, what are the right roles and the right timing to grow, you have to look at yourself also and say, is this the right time for me to lead in this way?
That's
so what we have is adjust the message, adjust the roles and timing, and focus on culture shaping. And those are 3 ways you can use to become a breakthrough leader to manage your team and lead your team as it grows.
Awesome.
See you next one, guys.